All right, number 6. So this is to circle all the numbers that x could be that are less than 5 but greater than or equal to -3. So I'm just going to graph this because I want you to see on the number line. That way it might make it easier to pick your values. So let's say this is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. And you don't have to do it this neat. So we want all the values that are less than 5, so that's going to be an open circle. And less than is pointing to the x, so you're going to go to the left. And then this is going to be a closed circle at -3. And it's pointing to the number, so it's going to go to the right. Okay, so, and again, you can see this word right here is an and. So it's everything in between. It includes the -3, but it does not include the 5. So -5 is over here. That is not included, so it's not this one. -3 is, since it's closed, it's going to include this. And -1 is on the line. 3 is on the line. 5, it's an open circle, so it's not going to include the 5, and then it's not going to include the 7 either. So again, I would suggest that you make a number line and graph what this is so that you can easily see which points it includes and which points it does not. All right, number 7. You are solving this compound inequality, and then we're going to graph it. We can see here that it's an OR, so our graph should go out this way. So let's just solve both of those. So we've got -10x plus 3 is less than or equal to -37. And then we've got 3x minus 10 is less than -25. And I know right now you're thinking, well, they're both less than. How can that be an OR? Well, this one's got a negative coefficient in front of x, so we're going to end up having to flip that inequality. So this one's actually going to turn into a greater than or equal to. All right, so to solve this, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. That's -10x. These cancel. Less than or equal to, this is -40. And then divide both sides by -10. So x is greater than or equal to 4. So we had to flip this because you were dividing by negative. Okay, on the other side, we're going to add 10 to both sides. So 3x is less than -15. And then divide both sides by 3. So x is less than -5. So even though we have a negative answer, we weren't dividing by a negative number. So it's going to stay less than. All right, so we're going to graph this. This is a closed circle at 4, pointing to the number, so that goes to the left. Pointing to the number, it goes to the right. This is an open circle at -5, points to the letter, shade to the left. So it is an OR. We can see that's going out. So we're just going to write our solution. This one is x is less than -5, or x is greater than or equal to -4. So we just solve both of these, graph them. They should go out, and then we're just taking our two solutions. This is the smaller of the two. So this one goes here, and then this one goes on this side. All right, for number 8, we're just writing these as a compound inequality. Remember, for an and, I'll just put this above here. It's the small number less than x less than the big number. And of course, this could be equal to, and in this case, it's going to be equal to. So this is the small number. This is the large number. Okay. So for this one, -8 is the smaller number. And see, it's going to the right, so it needs to point to the number. So that's why we know it's got to be this, and then x. and then the big number is 6, and it's going to the left, so it's got to point to the letter, and it is. Okay, so small number, big number, X in the middle, these are always going to be less than signs or less than or equal to. This is an OR, and so we're just going to write just like we did up here on number 7. So the smaller one is -1, so X is less than or equal to -1, or X is greater than 1. And you'll notice this one is closed, so we have an equal to here, less than or equal to. This one is open, so it's just greater than. All right, for 9 and 10, this is a review from earlier topics. We're just graphing and writing the equation of the line. So to do this, you can either find the X and Y intercepts, or you can write the equation in slope-intercept form. So I will show you both ways. One way will always work, the other way will only work if your intercepts are integers. All right, so the first way is just to rearrange this. So we're going to move the X over and change the sign. So you're going to have 6y equals, when you move that 3x over or subtract it from both sides, that gives you -3x minus 12, and then divide it by 6. So y equals, this is -1/2 x minus 2. So I'll come back to this one to graph it, but the other way to do it is to find the X and Y intercept. So to find the X intercept, you can cover up the Y, and that gives you 3x equals -12. Divide both sides by 3. So the X intercept would be -4. And then the Y intercept, which we already know what that is because it's right here, but if you did it this other way, cover up the X. So that's 6y equals -12. Divide by 6, so the y-intercept's -2, which is what we got here. So 2 ways to do this. First way is to either put it in slope-intercept form and graph it. So you start at -2, and then you go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. We can go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Or the other way is to just find the X and Y intercepts. And again, you can only do this if these are integers. So the X-intercept's -4, so you can mark that, and then the Y-intercept's -2, you mark that, and then connect them. So either way, though, you'll see we got the same answer, the same graph. So that's just two different ways that you can work that. Like I said, this way will always work. This way will only work if they're integers. All right, last one on this page. Here we're going to write the equation in standard form. We got to start with point slope form. And so this is your x1, which is going to go here. This is your y1, which is going to go here. And then this is your slope, which is going to go right here. So you're just going to plug those in to the equation. So I'm going to rewrite this. Y minus 5 equals -6 times x minus 1. And then we have to distribute. That's going to be the first step. So distribute the -6. So that gives us -6x plus 6. And just bring this down. And then we're going to add 5 to both sides. So this gives us our equation in slope-intercept form. We like it in this form because then we could graph it like we did here. But this is telling us to put it in standard form. So standard form is x, y equal sign number. Right now we don't have x and y on the same side. So we're going to move this over, change its sign, and so that becomes 6x plus y equals 11. Now it's x, y equals sign number, and so now we are good to go. That's our answer.